Hey YouTube, welcome back. We are going to talk about some Bazaar content here. Instead of just showing you a run, instead of highlighting a build that's wacky and neat, we're going to talk about encounters. There was a person in Twitch chat who said, is there any monster that you never like fighting? And I think this is some relevant content for people who are new to the game or people who want to get better at the game. I've been playing this game for just, I guess, actually about a month at this point. It's amazing. I love it. And we're going to hit legend hopefully pretty soon, but we're in diamond right now for like ranked stuff. But we have a good time, and hopefully we make some good builds too. In any case, what kind of encounters don't you want to fight ever? I think there are encounters that you virtually never fight, either because they're too dangerous, they're too rippy, they have like random crit chance, or they scale too quickly, or maybe just they're not rewarding enough, something like that. So we're going to go through the days here, and I think this is going to be a pretty quick video, if I had to guess, about which encounters do you basically never take, and then on the other side, which encounters do you basically always take. So should we try Notepad? All right, Notepad, write it down. Oh, can I ask someone to Twitch chat to do it for me? They might. I'm going to do it myself too. But let's start at day one. Encounters that you never take. So for day one, what's the most relevant? Is anything? Okay. What's the most relevant thing on day one? There are things that can technically kill you. Viper can kill you because it's poison, and poison's OP at level 1 because the fights take so long, and your items are probably bad. So Viper can kill you. The Kyver drone can technically kill you. Kyver drone has like, when you slow, a random weapon gains 5 damage. If all the random damage gets put on the Stinger, he can kill you by accident. But yeah, Viper's the only dangerous one. Nothing else matters. I like fighting the banana because the banana gives duct tape, and duct tape is a nice item to have access to early on in the game. That's all for day one. Let's move on. Day two, what's relevant? I tend to do the middle ones. I tend to do Covetous and Tent City Mayor. Nothing is particularly dangerous here except for Borear. Borear is just not worth doing. He is so strong. He scales well. What's he got here? He's got I buy this two stuff. Your weapons gain damage for the fight. Yeah, the Lumbor is over here. So like he's got a lot of health. He's got 550 health, more health than you probably have at that point. Basically, you never fight Borear. It's not worth it. If you die in any of these encounters, it means you're missing out on some amount of gold and experience and the item or loot that you get after the fact. Totally not worth it. He's a lot easier to kill now, according to Twitch chat. He got big nerfed. Go on, tell me more. I don't think he got big nerfed. I find him not particularly rewarding and also very, very dangerous. So while Twitch chat fills me in on this, dying before you have a max board size is practically... Yeah, I agree with you. Dying before you have maximum board size, because you really want to rush having as much experience as possible, is practically an end runner. I agree with you there. He used to have pickles as well. Oh, gotcha. In any case, not only is Borear dangerous, I don't fight it. I'd recommend skipping it. I also really like both Covetous Thief and Tent City Mayor. So both these two have excellent stuff. Covetous Thief has like a grindstone, which is great. Gives you like some scaling damage early on. A Shadowed Cloak is a way to put haste on stuff. I play a lot of Dually. I love using a Shadowed Cloak along with Pulse Rifle. It's insane early on in the game. And then he even has a skill at the start of each fight, gain 1 gold. So this is PVE and PvP, gain 1 gold for each. So like there's multiple things on Covetous Thief that I'm really happy to have. And he's a pretty straightforward fight. Tent City Mayor has this busted skill, augmented weaponry. Your weapons have +1 damage. Whenever you sell a small item, which includes chocolate and stuff, gumballs, increase this bonus by +1. So you can totally build around this and just snowball your entire run. It's very, very strong. Temporary Shelter, Dog, these are both like reasonable items to get as well, or it's like some scrap for your duct tape, sharpening stone for your weapon. It's just good stuff in both of these, and both these encounters are quite easy. Twitch chat likes Coconut Crab. He's got a great skill. Let's see. First time you fall below half, shield equal to 20% of your maximum health. This is a skill that scales. I don't mind it. There's a lot of poison in the meta right now, so I wouldn't prioritize this too much. And getting the extra gold from Covetous Thief and Tent City Mayor, I would stick with this. But shouting out the skill that exists there, I think that's worthwhile. So thank you, Twitch Gen. Let's keep going. Day 3. Does anything matter on day 3? I think Scout Trooper is a bit dangerous. So Scout Trooper has relevant skills and gunpowder. Like there's stuff here that's relevant, but the weak point detector and scaling their damage is just a little bit spooky. I tend not to do this. What I'm really happy for on day 3 is when I see Eccentric Aetherite. So Aetherite is a fairly straightforward encounter. It's kind of a DPS check. You need to keep the Aetherite's shield low because otherwise they'll just one-shot you with Force Field. So sometimes when I'm on a poison build, that kind of sucks. If I haven't snowballed early, I'll skip this because poison obviously doesn't deal damage to shield. But if you can take down Aetherite, which I prioritize, I like having this, you get a chance, a 1 in 6, of getting rigged. And having any kind of start of combat haste effect, like this rigged skill here, is OP. This is a very, very good skill to have. The rest of these, Rogue Scrapper is trivial. He's fine. He basically does nothing. Frost City Challenger, he does scale damage off of freezing your items. I tend to never fight him. I find him like non-trivial and annoying, and he only gives 1 more gold than like the Tempest Flame Dancer. And when I'm picking which encounter I want to fight early on, like we said earlier, if you lose PVE before you have a full board, like a fully expanded board, it's so brutal. So I tend not to take anything that's less than like a 95% chance of success. So I don't like it. Yeah, just going one of these like small boys, like Dabbling Apprentice and Tempest Flame Dancer, to me are a better choice over Frost City. So I don't do Frost City because I find him annoying, not worth it. And I try not to do Scout Trooper because he's a little bit scary. And then if I can, I do Eccentric because of the rigged. Let's keep going. Day 4. So in the current patch, Boiler Room Brawler had 2 of his items disabled. He used to have access to a wrench and a hammer. And a wrench and a hammer are both insane because they randomly and somewhat, one randomly and one not randomly, upgrade your items for you. So wrench and hammer were amazing. So we had this joke in Twitch chat where like when Boiler Room had those items, you would just fight this every single time because it's so good. Right now, the items are still fine, like multi-tools fine, sharpening stone, a energy potion to haste all of your items for 4 seconds. Like these are pretty reasonable items. When you haste shield 10, like even this is reasonable, right? But the other ones have other advantages. So it's no longer like 100% just do this one because it's OP. Retiree is a straightforward one. Feel easy about this. I used to not do this before the change because I thought that he scaled too well and wasn't worth the risk. But ever since Bushel got changed so that it no longer shields when you heal, a lot of the strength of Retiree has been gimped. So he really is retired at this point. He's pretty straightforward. Other notable things to shout out here are Hydro Dude. He has the most HP. If you have a good build, if you can like take this down, it's really strong because it gives you bonus experience on this one. It's like 5 instead of 3 or whatever. But Electric Eels is like a little bit scary if your HP is low. So you definitely want to like have it like a DPS check or maybe like a Brick Buddy or something that gives you some extra shield to not just die to the Electric Eel procs. In any case, the other ones here, Flame Juggler I think is worth shouting out as like dangerous things you might want to know about. Flame Juggler, I wouldn't do this if my HP were like less, if like 600 or less. Like the magma cores all proccing at the beginning and putting 1 big ignite on you. If you have less than 600 HP, you might just die. And like he'll put 1 big ignite on you and like he doesn't do anything, but then you just burn to death. So if you have like more than 650 or maybe 700 HP, like after day 4, he's a pushover. He doesn't do anything. But like at day 4 or even like before day 4, he is really spooky if you don't have like a ton of damage or like a lot of shield generation off of duct tape or a Brick Buddy or an armored core, things like that. Can you tell that I only play dually? You can tell that. All right, what else matters here? Technovirus blows up all your small items. I tend to not do Technovirus unless I have a really good justification for it because the viruses blow up your small items and then they gain poison and they deal damage faster. So I would call Technovirus non-trivial here. Deadly Crooner, I call him trivial. Just fight him and take the experience for it. On day 5, is anything worth mentioning on day 5? Not really. Day 5. Obviously, like, look at the loot, look at what you care about. But I don't find any of these monsters particularly difficult. The Gorgon Noble looks scary because she's poison, but she doesn't do anything. Maybe they should buff her. No, they definitely should not buff her. But yeah, none of the day 5 monsters I think are particularly noteworthy. Just kill the one that pertains to your build. Day 6, does anything matter here? Yeah, I think these two matter, right? The two rare ones. Trash Golem, 4-man, like these are all fine. These are all fine. Enclave Reaper's like another poison one. Lone Shark, like maybe Lone Shark is worth mentioning. He does like a little bit of damage. If your build's garbage, do not fight him. He will just kill you. He's like, he scales, you know, he scales offensively and defensively. I guess he generates shield and then he scales offensively because of the shark claws and shark rays. I would not fight Lich ever. Basically ever. I find Lich really, really tricky as a day 6 monster. Infernal is a sweet encounter, and I love the Infernal Greatsword. I would basically never fight the Infernal and never fight the Lich. The Infernal is basically a DPS check. You need to kill him before he uses his sword a second time. Because like after the first hit, he's not going to kill you. But the second hit does a tremendous amount of damage, a tremendous number of burns applied to you. So you basically have to kill him within like 10 seconds or so, something around there. But I would just like skip him. And, like I play really conservatively against PvEs because I really don't want to lose the PvE encounters. Let's go to more stuff. Anything that I skip on day 7? Yes. Let's see. So like Thug is great. Man, I love fighting Thug. Thug's an easy encounter because he has easy encounter because he doesn't do much. And he has Bonk, which is a great skill. Enemy cooldowns increased by 1. And he's got a Thieves Guild medallion. It's basically plus 50 gold. There's some caveats. Maybe you can opt into a more difficult fight or something. But Thieves Guild medallion basically says gain 50 gold, which is wonderful. So I love fighting Thug here. There's like some poison stuff, some cooldown stuff. What don't I fight? Let's talk about 2 of these. Shock Trooper, I tend not to fight. I find the plasma rifle that the Shock Trooper has is nuts, and it kills me, and I don't think it's worth the risk of trying to fight the Shock Trooper on day 7. The last relevant thing here is Radiant Corsair. Radiant Corsair, you need like a tiny bit of shield or a tiny bit of like regeneration or something, or a lot of damage. Because like it's like a tiny bit of burn here, tiny bit of burn there, and like the anchor chunks you for a bunch of your damage as well. It's like you don't want to be like ZHP or something. But the payoff for Radiant Corsair is you get a ton of experience and you get a shot at getting Fiery Rebirth, which is just a second HP bar. It's totally insane if you get access to this. So if you can, great. But he's pretty easy. You just need to have something that mitigates like the couple burns that he puts on you. On day 8, let's close this real quick. Close this out. Day 8. What's relevant on day 8? I don't think any of this is relevant. All of these encounters are pretty straightforward. There's like some good loot and like some good items that can come out of it, but just compare those to whatever your build is. So let's keep going. Day 9. Is there anything noteworthy on day 9? I never fight the Death Knight Reaper. I think he's too scary. He's a scary boy, Chet. He, let's see, the weapon. So he's got like lifesteal. He chunks you for a bunch of damage. He gains haste. Yeah, I don't know. Reaper's easy. You like fighting Death Knight Reaper? I don't like fighting him. I don't think it's worthwhile. He's really easy? No. I'm going to talk about these other ones while you type in Twitch chat. Elite Duelist, I think is a great shout out because Elite Duelist has the skill Big Ego, which says your weapons gain lifesteal, which is a 1 in 12 shot to get this. And if you get it, it's nuts. Knife Set, I think, is worth shouting out as well. Knife Set is a great thing. Listen, I'm a dually player. I love things that have like cooldowns and charges and whatnot. Knife Set's a really interesting item as well that I like shouting out. Yeah, I don't know. Powder Flask, Holster, Spices. These have their places as well. But Elite Duelist, Big Ego is the best part of this for me. Let's see what Death Knight has. You said... You think if you have decent DPS, Death Knight Reaper just dies. You can also out-tank him with something like Brick Buddy or Pig. Okay, because like he's not poisoning or anything. He deals damage equal to your health, but if you're generating a bunch of shield, you can out-tank it. Okay, that's a good shout out then. He scares me. Did he get changed at some point? I don't want to dawdle too much. But I remember I died to this guy once or twice, and then I just put it in my head that I never fight him. I don't know. Good. All right, he's easy. Next time that I die to him, I'll remember you said that. Let's keep going. Day 10. What's Rio Tinja day 10? I think there's a couple relevant things to mention here. Actually, day 10 is kind of interesting. Let's talk about day 10. So day 10, the bronze monsters don't matter at all. The silver monsters are really interesting. Property Baron kills you, and I hate it. So I never fight Property Baron. Your question was, which monsters do I never fight? This one. This guy has a skyscraper that deals a bunch of damage. It has multicast, so it shoots you twice. And it also has like 25% crit chance because of Billboard. So if you have less than like 3,000 or like 3,500 HP, he might just one-shot you. And like it's a 25% chance that like he one-shots you, which I hate. So like even if I have like 4,000 HP, I just don't like doing it. I also never play Pig, which means that I don't value any of the outcomes here. So I really try not to do Baron ever because I don't think it's worth randomly dying to him. Trash Titan, on the other hand, basically does nothing. And he has an amazing skill called Juggler. So when you use a small item, charge a large item for 1 second. I love this. I'm biased. You know the kinds of builds I play because I play dually builds. But Juggler is so good. Let's talk about the gold encounter, the gold and diamond encounters over here, right? Cool. What's here? Which ones do I never do? I basically never do Awakened District or Void Colossus, Void Golem. Yeah, I guess like those three I basically never do. Void Golem, Void Colossus, they blow up your items. Void Golem has Caltrops, which have like 200 damage on them, which kills me when I play against him. So I never do Void Golem. Void Colossus, he blows up an item of yours on a cooldown. So if you like just kill him quickly, or if you have like a lot of items dealing damage instead of just like one key item dealing damage, you're probably good against him. But I don't like taking chances, so I don't like fighting Void Colossus. If you like memes, you should definitely fight Void Colossus in order to get the Eye of the Colossus. So we said we said both Voids I never do. Awakened District, it has this guy right here, right? The Soul of the District. It does a ton of damage. So shield equal to your current health, deal damage equal to your current shield. So it does a fuck ton of damage. It's basically a DPS check. It's a 12-second cooldown. I don't think there's anything here that... Oh, sorry. When you use a large... Yeah, when you use one of these two larges that are on a 6-second cooldown, haste an item for 4 seconds. So, like, there's a good chance that the Soul of the District is likely going to get hasted as well. So it's probably going to go off at, what, like the 9-second mark or so? So if you can deal a ton of damage, it's basically a DPS check, right? I don't like doing it. What else is here? You don't like doing Volka's Enforcer because he gets into an infinite shield plus an infinite freeze loop. Yeah, I could see that being annoying. I don't like doing annoying fights. I tend to stay away from them. I don't think he's particularly tricky by this point. Like by day 10, hopefully you have a pretty good build. But yeah, he's annoying. I hear you. But yeah, so Void, Awakened District. The last two that I want to talk about are Lord Arkan. I guess Lord of the Waste, Lord Arkan, and Veteran Octopus. So Veteran Octopus is comically easy. You always fight him when he shows up. You basically don't have a choice because he's so easy and he gives so much experience. Lord of the Wastes is very... I'd be surprised if he died to it. He technically has like crit and stuff. But yeah, Lord of the Wastes is basically a pushover. When he shows up, you just do him because he gives a lot of experience. Lord Arkan is worth mentioning. He recently got buffed. So this item, the Eclipse, it says when you use an item, deal 100 damage. And it used to say when you use an item, deal 50 damage. And doubling this damage has been very, very relevant. So I think he's much less of a pushover than he used to be. He used to do pretty much nothing. I find him non-trivial. So if I'm relying on the experience, or if I really need the experience to hit like a nice like a level break point or something, I wouldn't do this because I don't like taking chances. But yeah, this thing got buffed up here. Yeah, the first time you fall below half health, use this. He's a scary boy. Anything else relevant here? No, we kind of talked about everything, didn't we? All right. Close this out. Then there's some events down here. Do these matter at all? Sparring partner. If you need gold, do it. Sure, I guess so. I don't know. Mr. Moo. This is the guy you fight that you can opt into if you want in the Thieves Guild. So you might never ever fight this. I don't care about this because when I go to the Thieves Guild, I just loot the vaults and get my 50 gold. So I just don't fight this guy. I have no input on this. I don't know. Next up is Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter is like an event, an encounter that you can opt into. I find it pretty trivial. Nothing really matters here. I would opt into this every single time because I like getting bonus experience every single time. As we wrap this up, I want to mention that like basically every time that you can do a fight, I would say you basically should do the fight. Like you should have a good reason that, or for like a good item that you're looking for, a good reason not to do a fight. But every time that you're offered an optional PVE encounter, like a bounty hunter or something that gives experience, not the sparring partner, he doesn't give experience, but something that gives experience, I think you basically just do it because you want the experience. You want to, get more HP per level. You want more level up rewards. Just everything with experience is so good. So there we go. That about does it. Mr. Moo does next to nothing, but he gives good experience. That's good. Moo is 4 times experience, which can be relevant. Oh, sorry, he's 4 experience. Yeah. Okay. There. I guess if you really need experience more than you need 50 gold, then I guess Moo is fine because he doesn't seem particularly difficult. Cool. If you like content like this, make sure to let me know. Also, we are going to continue our dually run in the background here. I'm playing Monitor Lizard, but don't judge me. I'll see you next time.